going first or mine?
No, you're going first.
I'm going first. My name is Katie.
My name is Travis.
And we're going to be talking about the film 8th Grade.
One word, yes.
And I'm going to say it was relatable.
I think 8th Grade was a strong film by Burnham.
It's not my fault.
What's her name?
Annalise.
Is it not stupid?
I've told you this.
Oh.
It's not stupid.
It's his best work since My Whole Family Thinks I'm Gay, which I also really related to. I mean, it's a coming-of-age film, and we've had a lot of popular ones lately, like Lady Bird and what's the other one? Call Me By Your Name. It's a coming-of-age film. But those have been like focusing on, I think, like high school to adult life. And this focuses more on 8th grade, obviously, so like 14 years old, which is a underrepresented
Demographic. I think it was a really interesting film. I really liked it, and I think it was good because it addressed both like the new problems that like 8th graders now are facing, as well as like kind of the universal experiences that everybody's had when they were that age.
Be concise.
Well, you're the one who's rambling.
Okay, yeah. So the movie focuses on Kayla something.
Kayla Day.
I
think.
Kayla Day, and it kind of runs through a lot of like vignettes that press on the anxiety of her life. So like crushes, experiences with high schoolers, her relationship with her father. It's
about her kind of struggles through 8th grade. It's her last couple weeks of 8th grade, and just her struggles of trying to get out there and be herself. There wasn't like a huge like plot arc that like had a climax and an ending. It just was almost very a slice of life, I feel like.
Yeah, it was definitely a character film, like some indie nonsense.
Travis
yeah, he's good. He got it.
Good, I got it.
Okay.
I nailed it.
I really liked it because it didn't I feel like it didn't shy away from a lot of the gritty. I feel like gritty is the wrong word for a movie about 8th graders, but like I feel
it is. There's a grittiness to it.
Yeah, I feel like it didn't shy away from a lot of just that like pure like sheer awkwardness, just that like weird, very transitional period of your life where you're.
Are you speaking an accent right now?
Just shut the. Like how to project who you are, like, or even if you do know who you are, not knowing how to like translate that to other people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does make sense, and especially it touches a lot on social media with like the sort of interconnectedness we have, but like she's always on her phone, but she like never has friends really either. So like she's like making the videos, like no one's watching them.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of got that like that feeling that you shouldn't be alone, but you're totally alone.
Exactly. I think it was interesting that they really addressed the social media thing because that has been evolving so quickly, and that's something that I feel like we not take for granted, but because we've been mostly mature for all of that transition, we forget that there's like young kids who are like caught in the middle almost.
Yeah, like one of the older kids like asks her about like when she got Snapchat, and I think that is like a really valid thing. Like I remember what grade I got Snapchat in, and like that's kind of like changing the landscape of where you're at.
Exactly, yeah.
You really see it through, I keep wanting to say Elsie, that's the actress, Kayla. You see it through like Kayla's eyes. Like when she's like listening to music, like you hear that music. When they pull the headphone, it pulls back. Yeah. So it's not really like, it's a subjective view of cinema, which I think you don't get to see a lot.
You had to pick.
I repress my emotions, so it's hard to gauge.
So at all times.
Her relationship with her father was wonderful, because I think it did a good job at simultaneously portraying like the difficulty that the parent experiences, but also like sort of why the child has that difficulty in like making that connection.
I agree, because that I feel like that relationship was weirdly relatable on both ends for somebody our age.
Because I think parents are portrayed as either being like this wonderful super
bumbling
parent or like completely incompetent, like either extreme.
Yeah.
But he was like a dude messing up, but like clearly trying his best too.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Really nice. I've heard people compare it to Lady Bird. I think it's like very different than like Lady Bird. The focus was sort of her conflict with her parent that was like much more straightforward, and in this the conflict she had with her father was much more, it was like her internal conflict that the father couldn't get through to.
Yeah.
So like it was a much more like loving relationship, so I think that's like a really big difference. Just shout out our sponsors, which are Pale Skin and Blue Tanks.
They portrayed her as having like no friends, and I feel like that's kind of unrealistic for an 8th grader. like the fact that like she went through, hypothetically, right, 5 years of elementary school and then 3 years of middle school, and she just seems to not have any connections. That seemed odd to me.
On one hand, I kind of get it, but on the other hand, Katie has hot privilege, and she's always had friends.
Shut up! I did not have friends. Excuse me?
Yeah, you're done.
Okay.
Okay, so the scene I feel I have to talk about, but I feel like might be inappropriate to talk about here, is the car scene, which was, I feel like, very emotionally traumatic to a lot of people. Like, my experience, there's only like 8 people in our theater, but there were people who were like clawing at their friends' arms with anxiety during the scene, and
I was one of them.
there were many accounts of this online that were the same. And like nothing that bad actually happens. And it's just like the threat of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, basically, like, so it directly follows the scene Katie just talked about. So they just had lunch at the mall, or dinner or whatever at the mall. They hung out at the food court. And some dude, well, one of the dudes, Olivia, and then Kayla in the backseat, they're driving home. The dude drops off the friend, Olivia. So it's her and Kayla, or him and Kayla. Him and Kayla. And then he like pulls over and sits in the backseat with Kayla and tries to play Truth or Dare.
Yeah.
And it's like super real and messed up. Like, I don't know, it's just like terrifying, creepy nonsense. And the little manifestation of what happens is not nearly as bad as what you could expect. But I don't think that makes it that much like it doesn't make it any less scarring. And like the dialogue following up where like Kayla's like, don't tell Olivia, and he like acts like he was trying to do her a favor. Like that is like the cherry top that makes it like so messed up.
My mouth was open. I was so
That
angry.
is probably going to be the most powerful scene of the year for me. I can't think of anything that like smacked me like that.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, like creepy skater dude tries to get 8th grader to take shirt off. 0 out of 10 experience, like 10 out of 10 anxiety.
Oh my god.
I would literally leave the country.
I would definitely. Sorry, what was your question? I would definitely go see it.
Okay.
Alright, Travis.
So, I would say this is, I mean, maybe the best movie I've seen this year so far.
Really?
It's August, by the way.
Yeah, 2/3 in.
No,
I
we're like
studied
half
math.
in.
That
We're
should
half
be
in.
August is the 8th month of the year. So, I mean, we're 7/12 in right now.
Not almost equal.
That's true. They're not. February's short. But anyways, so,
Okay.
I mean, Bo Burnham really...
February can satisfy.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people don't need it 31 days in a month.
You don't even need 30 days. Like, forget it. February, like, whatever. Okay, no. But, I mean, it really, I think, does a good job balancing, like, immediate middle school issues with things that feel universal. Like, one thing that stands out to me is whenever the principal tried to get attention, some kid would shout, like, LeBron James. And, like, when I was in 8th grade, like, that kid was Kobe. But, like, it's the same thing. And, like, I feel the immediacy of that even though it's not my exact experience. Not as perfect, but...
What?
My eyes are up here, Katie.
I would give it 8 Gucci's out of 10.
8 Gucci's.
Oh yeah, I would say 8.
Okay. Do you like apple pie?
Travis, give us rating. Jesus Christ.
I would rate it 9. My whole family thinks I'm gays out of 10.
How am I supposed to animate that?
Because you just use Bo Burnham.
9 Bo Burnhams out of 10. 9 safe full of cherries because you pop it and lock it out of 10. Like, I don't know.
Oh my god. 8 or 9 out of 10. I don't really know.
8.5 is a choice.
8.5, I guess, is a number that exists.
Flavor of the choice, dude.
Goodbye, Katie.
Wow, my Fitbit just came off.
Goodbye, everyone.
Rika.
The widest sentence of any drunk review we've ever done.
Alright, okay.